Thank you. Well, the Wellspring hosted its 94th annual meeting at the First Methodist Church in Monroe today. Jasmine Bingham has more on its impact. Jasmine?
Well, Jennifer, the Wellspring reports it's much more than a counseling and development center. The Wellspring says it's a source of hope and support for people in Northeast Louisiana.
Wanting to do the right thing is a start. Actually doing it is a whole other thing.
Today, Wellspring and community members highlighted their accomplishments in 2024. The organization secured $5 million in funding to build emergency shelters for survivors of domestic violence and expanded its on-site services to Madison Parish. The organization also created a pet shelter for pets of domestic violence survivors to help with transitioning and served over 19,000 people in rural service programs.
Founded as a YWCA, and we are one of the state's oldest and most effective nonprofits, I believe, particularly for Northeast Louisiana. So we have, our programs and services have evolved over the decades to meet the changing needs of our community.
A district judge says he's seen the impact the Wellspring has had in the community, even in the legal system. He says the Wellspring stands in the gap for people through counseling, custody evaluations, and supervised visitations.
The areas of domestic violence, the cases that come before the court, many times individuals who may come before us or the victims of domestic violence have relied upon the services of the Wellspring, such as their sheltering, their counseling, and assistance of their basic daily needs they may have to be able to live.
And Cassio says the Wellspring plans to continue to meet the needs in Northeast Louisiana for years to come.